The previous B-52 bomber left U.S. Central Command's area of responsibility on April 7 after function as go-to bomber for operations contrary to ISIS and the Taliban.
In the previous 2 years, the B-52 has conducted over 1,850 missions in the Middle East and Afghanistan and fell around 12,000 weapons on enemy targets.
It also broke a number of bombing records.
The B-52 will support future operations in the Pacific, and be replaced by the B-1 Lancer as a CENTCOM's primary bomber.
The U.S. Air Force announced that the last squadrons of the legendary B-52 Stratofortress have concluded their operations against ISIS in the Middle East and the Taliban in Afghanistan, and have returned home to Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota.
Following 2 years of B-52 squadrons employing nearly 12,000 weapons on Islamic State and Taliban targets across U.S. Central Command's area of responsibility, the venerable Buff flew its last mission April 7 before turning over the bomber duty reins to the newly arrived B-1B Lancer, an Air Force spokesman said in a statement.
The bomber, nicknamed the Buff or Big Ugly Fat Fellow, has been in service with the Air Force for 63 years, the last 2 of which it served as U.S. Central Command's go-to bomber. Almost 12,000 weapons were dropped over the course of 1,850 missions on ISIS and Taliban targets. On average, B-52 aircrews recorded 400 to 450 hours in a single 6 to 7 month deployment, which is nearly 3 times the traditional 300 hours usually flown by B-52 crews.
A number of new records were also made. The 23rd Bomb Squadron celebrated its 100th birthday in June 2017 with 400 consecutive missions without any maintenance delays, breaking the previous record that was set during the Vietnam War's Operation Linebacker II in 1972.
In September of that same year, the B-52 surpassed the B-1 Lancer's record of 761 consecutive missions without a maintenance cancellation by 73 missions, increasing the record to 834.
A B-52 dropped 24 precision-guided munitions during a 96-hour air campaign against Taliban training and narcotics facilities in February, breaking the previous record, which was also set by a B-52, for the most smart bombs dropped on the Taliban.
American commanders have huge respect and admiration for the B-52 and its air crews. The Buff did a fantastic job crushing ISIS on the battlefields in Iraq and Syria, Lieutenant General Jeff Haragian, the commander of U.S. Air Force's Central Command, said. Some would say it's a Cold War relic, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Goosen, the commander of the 69th Expeditionary Bomb Squadron, said. But it's such a versatile airframe that it keeps being reinvented and it keeps showing its usefulness and its relevance in every war that America finds itself in.
U.S. Central Command's future bombing operations in its area of responsibility will be conducted by B-1 bombers.